It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams about to vie here have won once previously. Today's winner goes on to play Martin Luther King Jr. in this year's middle school semifinals, the second of our two semifinalists. A lot at stake today. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Charles Carroll Middle School, would you please say hello to David Honore, Simon Bailey, and Catherine Gongora. And from Thomas Johnson Middle School, please say hello to Sarah Aminu, Aisha Dramé, and Lucy Cardona. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board shows our questions according to difficulty. Easier ones on the left, they're worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the two rounds today, as we were saying at the top of the show, one of these two fine schools will go on in our competition as the second of our 4 middle school semifinalists. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly before we start. Simon, how about the red team's buzzer? A-OK. Good luck to you, to Catherine, and to David. And Aisha, how about the green teams? All right. Also seems to be in fine working order. Good luck to you and to Lucy and to Sarah. Congratulations, guys, on making it this far in the competition. Not everybody gets this far. You're making history for your schools. All right. We go alphabetically C before T. So Charles, Carroll, and Simon, let's play the bowl.
Can I get body systems for 15?
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, kind of a sickening question here. Charles Darwin, the famous evolutionary scientist, suffered his whole life with CVS. CVS is a pharmacy, but CVS in this case, C stands for chronic, S stands for syndrome, and V stands for a synonym for upchucking. Simon. Why'd you ring in?
Velocity.
Nope. Thomas Johnson, V is in CVS, chronic something syndrome. This is a body system question, remember. V is a synonym for upchucking.
Vascular?
Vomiting. Vomiting is the correct answer there. Go again, red.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, we know that some bees are queens, and we know that some cobras and crabs and penguins are these royalty?
King.
Kings, the king crab, the king cobra, and the king penguin. That's right. Go red. Thank you, Catherine.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, the opposite of dilution, where you make a solution thinner, is this, Simon?
Dilution.
No. Again, Thomas Johnson, dilution, the opposite of dilution is making a solution thinner. When you make it thicker, you use this term, which also means to think heavily. Concentration. You concentrate or you dilute. They're the opposites. Go again. Red.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Don't let the big word throw you. Anemophily. That describes coniferous trees like pines that have their pollen distributed, Aisha?
By the wind.
By the wind, yes ma'am. An anemometer is the weather instrument for measuring wind, and anemophily comes from that. Good listening, go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Our government recently relaxed the standards on this greenhouse gas with the formula CH4. Charles Carroll.
Carbon.
Nope, going down the wrong road. Thomas Johnson, this greenhouse gas with the formula CH4 that smells rotten, the standards for it were recently relaxed by our government.
Methane.
Methane, that's it. Good, green.
Body system for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, your heart and your lungs are very fragile, but we have a cage made of these bones.
Your rib bones.
The rib bones, yeah, the rib cage that keeps everything in there. Keep it safe as best as possible. Okay, go, green.
Zoop raid for 15.
Zoop rate for 15 points. Teams, a land snail does not dry out and can crawl across a razor blade without damaging itself because those snails produce this that reduces friction. What do they make, Simon?
Mucus.
Mucus, yeah, slime. Yeah, that slime trail that serves those snails well. You're on the board, go.
Zoop raid for 5.
Zoop rate for 5 points. Teams, bears walk on their whole feet. Horses and pigs walk on their hooves. But cats and dogs like ballerinas...
Pause.
No, you didn't listen to the clue. Thomas Johnson, cats and dogs like ballerinas walk on their what?
Tippy toes?
Yes, they're tippy toes. Exactly right. Good. Thank you, Lucy. Go green.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, if you take cucumbers and mix them with vinegar and salt water and a little dill, you make these green things.
Pickles?
Pickles. Yeah, you got yourself a jar of pickles. Dill pickles. Good. Go green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri for?
15.
15 points. All right, teams. A lot of oil companies, all oil companies, drill through layers of rock, which means they hire a lot of these G initial scientists. Green.
Geologists?
Geologists, exactly right. Geological science, very important in oil exploration. Come on, David and Catherine, let's help Simon out there. He's trying as best he can. Get ready on that buzzer if you got an inkling. Go green.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, in 2022, NASA is planning to crash a spacecraft into one of these that's headed right toward Earth.
Asteroid.
Asteroid, that's it. Now you're back. You're cooking with gas. Go.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline science for 5 points. Scientists, doctors now say that if you want to live a longer life, stop drinking these, whether they're... Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Thomas Johnson, if you want to live a longer and healthier life, doctors now say stop drinking these, be they diet or regular.
Coke? Soda?
Soda, absolutely right. Yes, good. All right, that buzzer says we've come to the end of this round. Our score, Thomas Johnson 125, Charles Carroll right behind at 85. Lots more Science Bowl straight ahead. We'll be right back. Don't go away. And welcome back to the Science Bowl. Hope you're enjoying playing along today, keeping up with these very talented young people here. This is their second time here this year. If you didn't see them the first time, let's give you the pleasure of meeting them now. Let's go to Charles Carroll. And Simon, tell us the Charles Carroll story. Who's the principal?
Mr. Hendershot.
Mr. Hendershot. And your vice principal?
Is Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, and they were both here earlier, and we'll see if they come back again later today. Tell us who the alternate is. Do you have alternates?
Yes, we have Temmie, and she is
She's in the other room, isn't she? She's in the other room there. You told me before that Charles Carroll has a lot of great after-school activities. You've got, is there a band at your school?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know you told me you want to be a professional flautist. You play the flute, yeah? Mm-hmm. When did you first discover you had a talent and a love for that instrument?
Well, in the 4th grade, they gave us the choice of picking a single instrument that you could play throughout 5th grade and 4th grade. Yeah. And I picked the flute because I thought it looked really cool when other people played it, and I had a good natural talent for it. So.
Yeah, something's really cool. That's where you go usually. Congratulations to you. That takes a lot of practice and effort. You're a good player here today too. Keep it up in the second half. Catherine, you're a performer. You're a dancer.
Yes.
You're a singer. Mm-hmm. Yes. You going to sing for us today? I wouldn't put you on the spot here.
No.
What do you like to sing?
I mainly like to sing pop.
Yeah? Cool. And what do you want to do professionally someday? Do you want to be a professional entertainer?
Yeah, I would want to do like pop. I would also kind of like want to be an actress or a comedian.
Yeah, you got a little stage presence. I can see you doing that. And David, you want to go into cybersecurity, huh?
Yes.
Boy, that's a big thing today, isn't it?
Yeah.
This
Me
world
and
is a
my
dangerous place. When did you first realize that, boy, this is a big deal?
It was around maybe 5th or 6th grade when I started to learn about the dangers of hackers online and getting into people's bank accounts and big stuff like that.
I mean, it's in the news every day. It's not just bank accounts, it's countries influencing other countries' elections and compromising a lot of companies' pension systems. So yeah, we need good cybersecurity agents. You could be one of those, Dave. Thomas Johnson, nice to have you here. Aisha, who is the principal of Thomas Johnson?
Mr. Darrell Owens.
Wonderful. And you have actually kind of two coaches, don't you?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Miss Rosemary Liabes and Miss Raella.
Yes, and they're both here, and they'll be out in just a few moments. And I know you had an alternate who wasn't able to join us today.
Yes.
Luke was his name, yes?
Yes.
And he was an integral part of the team. So Luke, thank you for all the efforts. We're sorry you're not here to enjoy today's games. Something really great about Thomas Johnson, you also said you have musical and athletic and academic opportunities there, right?
Yes.
Tell me about your future.
Well, I either want to become an orthopedic or a dermatologist.
Yeah. So an orthopedist, that's about straightening bones, you know, and so many people have problems with their gait, and it's and dermatology. Everybody has skin problems at some point in their life. There are some few that go through without any kind of blemishes, but yeah, it's something to be concerned about. Of course, there's skin cancers too, and that's a very big concern. I know you're going to be good at that. And Aisha was on our show when she was in elementary school at Glendale, and she's back here as a middle schooler, and we're very proud of her. Lucy, nice to have you here today. Are you a softball player, did you tell me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Captain.
And where do you play?
We just play for our school. We just go versus other schools, and we have a game tomorrow.
So here you
fun.
are, you're playing this, you're a good academician, and you're also a good athlete, so that's well on display here. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a biomedical engineer, and I want to be a blacksmith.
And a blacksmith. Why a blacksmith?
I don't know. I'm always so fascinated by weapons.
Yeah. And when you said blacksmith, I have images of someone with a horseshoe and pounding on an anvil there, and but yeah, that's how our country got great. That's how we started here. Yeah, Sarah, nice to have you with us today. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to play basketball with my friends outside.
Yeah. So is there an organized basketball team at Thomas Johnson for you yet?
Yeah, but it's not here just yet. It's coming in November.
That's coming up real soon. You'll be ready to step right in. What do you want to do professionally someday?
I want to be an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and boy, that's a very important position in that operating room. Lives are in your hands, but something tells me you're going to be really good at that. You're a level-headed young lady. Let's get back to the game. 125 Thomas Johnson, 85 Charles Carroll, and green, let's go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, because of movies like Spider-Man and Ant-Man, people seem to have less of these P-initialed fears about spiders and creepy crawlies, Simon.
Phobias.
Phobias. Yeah, they're not as phobic as they used to be. Not that they want spiders crawling them up on their arm, but you know what I mean. Go, Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, other than people cutting them down, the biggest killer of trees are 3 natural events or 3 natural organisms. Give me 2 of trees' biggest killers. Charles, Carroll, talk among yourselves in case I have to come to you. So Lucy and Aisha and Sarah, give me 2 major tree killers. Natural events or natural organisms?
Tornadoes and hurricanes.
Tornadoes and hurricanes. That would really count for just one. That would be weather, but actually neither of those is a major killer of trees. Neither of those. Charles Carroll, can you give me 2 major killers of trees?
Wildfires and beavers.
And what was the last one?
Beavers.
Beavers. No. Pests like beetles, boring beetles, lightning, which leads to fires, and drought were the others. Okay, no points, go Red. Good tries, both teams.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. All right, look at the monitor in the studio. Look at that nice little grasshopper there. Grasshoppers go through incomplete metamorphosis, which means there is no pupal stage. And instead of larvae, they go through different stages where the babies just get bigger until they get to adults, but they don't change in form. What N-initialed word, Thomas Johnson?
Nymph.
Nymphs, yes indeed. Those are different nymphal stages. Nicely done, go green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. This is a multiple choice question. Is your body's macula, M-A-C-U-L-A, in your eye on... Yes.
Your eye?
It is in your eye, yes. It's not in the back of your throat. That's the uvula. The macula is the part of the retina where you have your most intense vision. Nicely done. Go.
Dayline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, before Hurricane Dorian was declared a hurricane when it went above 74 miles per hour, it was known as one of these, Simon.
A tropical storm.
Yes, sir. Tropical Storm Dorian. Good. Go.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, if your teacher gives you a soda cracker, those kind of dry things, and you put it in your mouth and you chew it, but don't swallow it, after a while that cracker is going to get sweeter and sweeter because you have changed what carbohydrate into sugar? What carbohydrate was changed into sugar while you were chewing it in your mouth? Simon.
Salt.
Not salt, nope. Name the carbohydrate that changed into sugar by chewing it in your mouth. What you think, ladies?
Glucose?
Starch. Starch became sugar. Go again, red. Nice try. Simon, your turn.
Let's get physical for 20.
Get physical for 20 points. Teams, if you are trying to change a flat tire and you can't get the lug nuts off because they're too tight, you can use percussive force to do it. Percussive force is another way of saying you would do what to those lug nuts? Charles Carroll.
Hit them.
Hit them, absolutely. You bang on them, percussion like drums. And sometimes if you bang them enough, they loosen up. Good job, young man. Go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, the Italian physicist Enrico Fermi almost was not permitted to participate in that secret project called the Manhattan Project in World War II that helped develop what fearsome weapon? Charles Carroll.
Nukes.
The nukes, the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb. Yes, sir. Good. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, your question is as follows. If you are looking for something all in the wrong places, people say you're barking up the wrong what?
Tree.
Tree. That's it. Good. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, even in Greek mythology, Achilles, when he fell in love, went head over what?
Heels.
Heels. That's right, Aisha. Yeah, you got it. Good.
Dayline science for 25.
Dayline for 25 points. Teams, it is a quote. I'm going to ask you who said it, and I'll tell you a little bit about that person so you have obviously a clue. Until man can duplicate a blade of grass, nature can just laugh at our so-called knowledge. So said this man who invented the phonograph and the light bulb. Thomas Johnson.
Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison is right. Yes, indeed. Good. Go.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, a plunet, P-L-O-O-N-E-T, is a planet that moves around a plunet moves around a planet just like one of these satellites does.
Moon.
A moon, that's right. A plunet comes from moon. Good. Thank you. Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Skunks. Their odor, their spray smells so bad because there's a cocktail of chemicals that includes mostly this chemical with the symbol S. Charles Carroll.
Sulfur.
Sulfur. That's it. Good. Thank you, David and Catherine. Go, Simon.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade 25. Big one in that category. Teams, 2-part answer. Listen carefully before you ring in. What very familiar Australian marsupial is known as a macropod, and why?
A kangaroo.
Yes?
It's a macropod because it has big feet.
You got it. Exactly right. Macro, big, pod, foot. Good. Go, green.
Green things for 25.
Green Things for 25 points teams. There is a farm in Charles County called the dicot farm, short for dicotyledon. A dicotyledon is a plant that has 2 seed leaves inside what little baby part of the plant, Thomas Johnson?
Ovary?
Not the ovary. Charles Carroll, the little baby part of the plant where you find the dicot, the 2 seed leaves, is called the what? What you think?
The stem?
The embryo. The embryo was the right answer there. Go green. We have 3 25-pointers left. All right. You know what you got to do, guys. Go green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points is a spelling question. On television, there are a lot of commercials for hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids. Yes.
Do I have to spell hemorrhoids?
Yes, you do.
Hemorrhoids.
Very good try. Very good try. Can you spell hemorrhoid? Aisha or Sarah or Lucy? Who's going to be my speller?
I got it.
All right. Say the word for me, please. Let's turn the red light out, please.
Hemorrhoid.
Yes.
Hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid. No points. Good tries. Go green. 2 questions left.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points teams. If you pasteurize milk or beer, you heat it to 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. You kill most, but not all of the bacteria. What do you want to tell me, Simon?
All right.
Thomas Johnson, if you kill most of the bacteria with pasteurization, if you continue heating it and raise the temperature, you kill all of the bacteria. So instead of pasteurizing it, what have you done to it?
You sterilize it?
You sterilize it. You did indeed. 25 points and let's get physical. Last question of the game is a visual question. Look at the monitor, please. Look at Newton's cradle. These silver balls, you've seen them, you hit one and they move back and forth and back and forth. It is a measure of the motion of a body. What is that called, that M initial term that is mass times velocity, that talks about motion? What
Velocity.
is, come on guys.
Velocity.
No, M initial. Mass times velocity gives you this, a measure of the motion of an object.
Movement?
Close. Momentum. Momentum. And with that, we come to the end of this Science Bowl. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We are so proud of our players here today. All 6 of these young people, they played their hearts out, and you can see why they're here representing their schools. What a wonderful game. Our final tally is Thomas Johnson, 245, Charles Carroll, 165. So Thomas Johnson, let's give a round of applause to them. Sarah and Aisha and Lucy and Miss Yabas and Miss Nayela, thank you very much over there. You made this happen. And Aisha, this is sweet revenge for you. She lost when she was in elementary school. She said, I wanted to do this, and you did. You were a force of nature here today. And Charles Carroll, let's have a round of applause for this team. David and Simon and Catherine, you played your hearts out as well. Tammy, I know how proud you are of them. Miss Chaudhary, you always send us great students. You prepared them so well. We hope you had a good time because we were dazzled by your performance, all of you guys here today, and we hope you were dazzled too. Hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. I'm Dave Zarin. Until then, bye-bye.